Welcome back. I hope all is well. Today, I'm going to share with you the desk setup that I've been working on for the last 2 or 3 years. In fact, it's always evolving. I needed a desk setup that would work for my workflow as a virtual therapist. So I need to be on video calls all the time. I want my sessions to be high quality. I want my desk space open so that I can actually read and write at my desk as well. And I also like to make videos like this. So I wanted to have a setup that also allowed me to film videos quickly and efficiently without having to set up and break down all the time. And as it stands today, I think I've come up with the almost perfect setup. It's taken a lot of research and a lot of time. And today I'm going to share with you exactly how I did it, what parts and tools I used so that you can create your own desk setup. All right, so before we dive into the parts and the way I've set up my desk, I need to lay the foundations first. So this desk setup had a few main purposes. First, I need it to be as small and as compact as possible. This is because I have a very small working environment. I'm basically in one corner of a very small room, and so I don't have much space to work with. So the setup had to be small and compact. Number two is I need this setup to be as flexible as possible. I'm always changing things around. The room is always changing. And so I need to be able to move and adapt accordingly. And third, I also need this setup to produce the highest quality content possible. And when I say content, I don't just mean videos, although that's important, but I'm also a therapist in private practice, and I'm always doing virtual sessions with clients. I want my sessions to be as realistic as possible as well. So I also wanted my setup to be able to produce the highest quality content possible. I also wanted my setup to be easy to use and quick to access. So I don't want to be fidgeting with things. I don't want to be moving things around. I simply want to sit down, turn things on, push record, and get ready to go. Now I knew I wasn't going to find or create a desk that was going to be perfect in all these different areas, but these were the different criteria I was thinking through as I built this setup. What I built now at least satisfies most of those different criteria. So let me just start first by telling you what desk I have. I actually have this desk from West Elm. It is a mid-century mini desk. Now this is the least exciting part. This is actually not a desk I chose, but one that was given to me. It fits well in the space. Again, it's really small, 36 inches by 20. This was my starting point, and I built everything based around the dimensions of this desk. All right, now the most important component to this desk setup here is this pole. This is a monitor stand, and now you can get a monitor stand that has just the arm that attaches to your desk, or you can get some that have an actual pole. So the pole then straps to your desk. Off that pole, you can hang various monitor arms from that. And so I went with the pull and arm option. This is a company called Wally. I think that's how you say it. I'll leave a link to everything I talk about down below. And so this is a monitor pull and arm setup. And now one problem I had to work around was the fact that my desk is actually almost 5 inches thick. So it's about that thick. It's really hard to find a C-clamp that can clamp to your desk. And I also was not going to drill into this desk so that I can just screw in the pole. That would just break the desk. It's not that high quality. And so I was actually able to buy a Wally C-clamp and then modify it in order to fit the 5 inches. Now this is not the most ideal thing. However, my desk is really sturdy and the pole is clamped on there and there's been nothing wrong with it. And the way I did that was by finding a C-clamp that had 2 parts. So it had a top and a bottom. And then I just bought 2 brackets and screwed them onto each of those parts and then made the clamp fit the 5-inch desk. It's a little bit of a DIY, but it works, and I have this pole attached to my desk. Needless to say, the pole is going to be the foundation of the entire desk. What this does is it gets the monitor up and off, and now the footprint of the monitor on the desk is really about only this much because the pole is clamped to the desk and that takes up a very small amount of room, right? So then I put the monitor arm onto that pole and my monitor arm actually swivels so I can swing it back and forth. I can raise it up and down really, really easily. So in my opinion, having this kind of pole mounted monitor arm is going to be the most flexible way to go. And the reason why this is better than just the arm itself is going to be because you can now hang other things off this pole as well. And so in addition to this Wally mounted pole and monitor arm, I then went ahead and bought a second Wally monitor arm. I bought this one right here off Amazon. I like to buy things from the same company if I'm able to. This just increases the chances that it's all gonna work together. So I bought this second monitor arm. However, I didn't buy it for a monitor. I actually bought it to rig my camera to. Now this took a ton of research, but at the end of the day, this monitor arm, it has a 1/4 inch screw on it. And if you know anything about cameras, there's a hole in the bottom of your camera that's called a 1/4 20. This allows you to screw your camera onto different tripod heads and things like that. So if you have a 1/4 inch or a 1/4 20 screw, it is most likely gonna fit onto the bottom of your camera and other camera mounts. And this monitor arm actually has a 1/4 20 or a 1/4 inch screw on top of it. And when I saw that, a light bulb went off, and I thought if it has a 1/4 inch screw, then I can put a camera attachment on top of it. So I bought this monitor arm simply because it holds a lot of weight. I think it holds about 17 pounds. I have a very big and heavy camera with a big lens on it, so I needed it to hold a lot of weight. And it has a 1/4 inch screw on it. So what you'll notice here is that I've taken this monitor arm, and then it has the 1/4 20 screw. And then the other important element that is very subtle that's really, really helpful is to buy 1/4 inch to 3/8 inch screw adapters. Now, just to put it simply, like I mentioned before, a 1/4 20 is gonna be the screw that fits most cameras and camera mounts and things like that. And then the 3/8 inch is one that's common with like microphone mounts and ball head mounts. So when I bought this monitor arm, it had the 1/4 inch screw on it. I have these adapters, which again, I got from Amazon, which allowed me to take that 1/4 inch screw and make it a 3/8 inch screw, which then allowed me to put my ball head on top of that, and which allows me to then put my camera on top of the ball head. So this is a long-winded way of saying I was able to take this monitor arm and transform it into a camera arm that holds a lot of weight and is super flexible, because now that my ball head's on it, I can move it around, I can wiggle the camera, I can go up and down, I can even do top-down shots if I want. So to find this monitor arm with the 1/4 inch screw, it's huge. In fact, anything with a 1/4 inch screw can probably be adapted to fit your camera or microphones or things like that. So this is the other really important component of this desk setup. And kind of related to this monitor arm is the actual camera. So I have a pretty old mirrorless camera. At the time that it came out, it was really, really good, a revolutionary camera. It's the Sony A7 III, and I use this as a camera to film videos. I also use it as my webcam. And so the way I've transformed this into a webcam is by using something called a capture card. To put it simply, a capture card basically allows you to input an HDMI signal into the computer. And so traditionally a capture card was quite expensive. I know Elgato makes one, and it's probably over, I think it's like over $100. But thanks to Amazon and third-party manufacturers, you can get one that's quite high quality for about 20 bucks. And that's what I bought off Amazon. Again, links to that down below. Moving on from the camera, I have a standard tripod. This is a travel tripod. It's quite nice, but it's nothing special. It's just a tripod that you can really get anywhere, Amazon, camera shop, it doesn't matter. There's nothing special about this. However, you'll notice that I don't have a camera attached to it. I have a light attached to it. If you have these adapters, 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch adapters, you can do a lot of mixing and matching with lights and microphones and things like that. So on the top of my tripod, I have this light, and I really love this light. This light is the Falconize RX8TD. Let me say that again, Falconize RX8TD. I would say that these are some of the best lights you can get for the money. They're really small and compact. So it's actually one light, and it's about 12 inches by 12 inches, and it's thin, it's flat, and it's actually foldable. You can fold it up, you can move it and manipulate it. It can be battery powered, and it can also be operated just by plugging it in. It is really awesome. It gets really, really bright. It works for so many different things, and you can mount it almost anywhere. It actually comes with a ball head that you can put on top of your camera. It has the cold shoe adapter, twist it onto a tripod. You can really put this light anywhere, and the quality of the light is really high. It gets really bright, and in addition to that, you can buy this really cool soft box for it for like 25 bucks or something, and it makes the light even softer. So this light on top of my tripod, this is awesome. I've been looking for something like this for such a long time. And again, if you didn't want the tripod back there, I mean, I have it because I like the angle and getting the light up a bit higher. But if you wanted to just clamp it or you wanted to put it on top of your camera, you can totally do that as well. You'll then notice, which is probably the least attractive component to this desk setup, is this microphone, which is sitting right here, and it's attached to this very ugly but very useful bendy arm clamp type thing. Now the microphone is a Rode Video Mic NTG. It's a great microphone. It's a shotgun microphone. It can sit on top of your camera. It can be put onto different adapters and arms and things like that. It could also be used as a USB microphone, so I could plug it right into my computer. I could also plug it right into my camera. Super versatile, really like the microphone. But it is attached to this weird gooseneck arm, which was originally designed for a GoPro. Again, this is a third-party product. I bought it off Amazon. Last time I checked, it was less than 20 bucks. It comes with a super strong clamp, which allows you to clamp that arm to almost anything. So I have it clamped to my tripod, and so hanging off that clamp is the microphone. And how to get the microphone on the other end of the clamp, it came with a 1/4 20 adapter. And like I said, with a 1/4 20 to 3/8 inch adapter, you can then put a microphone on top of it. So at the end of the day, this setup is really quite simple. It's a light, a camera, a microphone, and it's all attached to these different arms, tripods, and clamps in order to make my desk space as functional and flexible as possible, and also allowing me to create content and do my sessions in as high quality and as efficient way as possible. So I really love it. And the other thing that it does, like I mentioned before, that I really cared about, is it gets everything up and off the desk. So I have almost the entire surface of the desk to write things down, to read books, to put down items like coffee, which is super important. So the whole desk has basically become free again. And so far, I love this setup. It is super strong and super sturdy. It works really well. I'm able to make a lot more videos and have really high quality sessions without fiddling too much. I come in, I sit down, I turn things on, and I'm pretty much ready to go. So overall, this desk has improved workflow, quality, the amount of content I can put out, the ease in which I start my day and my sessions. It's just awesome. And the hardest part was finding the different components that work. And so by making this video and putting all the links down below in the description, I figured I'd make that process a bit easier for you as well. Just to be clear, nothing in this video is sponsored. I use these products because they work and I find them to be helpful. Anyway, if you find this desk setup helpful, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you have a different setup that works well for you, I would love to know about it. Put it down below in the comments. Other than that, I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you learned something, and I look forward to seeing you soon.